a Hatha yoga practice is much more than a way to make the body flexible. It's really a tool for self-realization. Now, how does this happen? Well, through the practice of Hatha yoga, all of these different poses and stretches and holds and postures, one starts objectifying the body. It becomes extremely obvious that the body is an object. The body is in this posture, and it's now in this posture, it's doing this hold, and it's flexing this way and that way, and it's in a pretzel, and it's laying on the ground. It's in all of these different shapes. So this object that is being molded, conformed into all of these different shapes and poses and postures, it really starts looking like this object that is being bended and molded, and as if you're holding something like Play-Doh and you're sculpting it and bending it and twisting it and turning it. Through the practice of Hatha yoga, this becomes completely obvious that it is an object. It's an object, and all objects are appearing to you. So, if the body is an object, then what are you? Because prior to all of this Hatha yoga practice, you were always identified as the body. But what starts happening with this Hatha yoga practice is the body is seen to be an object that is appearing in you. The body is seen to be very small and distant, and you are watching it as this greater space. So you're watching this object twist and turn, mold, go into all these shapes and sizes. And if that is happening to the body, and you are able to objectify it, meaning you are seeing it as an object, you are watching it as an object, then what is watching that object? It's you. You, the subject. This object is appearing to you, the subject. Before all of this Hatha yoga practice, you were always identified as me, the subject. And you'd point to the body and say, this is me. Now something's happening. That with all of this Hatha yoga practice, there's this relaxing, opening, expanding. And you're seeing the body as an object appear to you. And it appears distant from you. It appears separate from you. There's you, and then there's the body. So, therefore, if that object is appearing to me, and I am watching that object, then I am not that object. That is not me. And as the body is going through all these different poses, that is changing. This pose, now that pose, now this pose, now that pose, and you are watching the object go from one pose to another pose, to this pose, to that pose. The watching itself, is that changing? The subject that is watching the object change. Is the subject changing? No, the subject's not changing. The object is changing, but the subject that is watching never once changed. The object is moving, but the subject that is watching that movement, the subject is not moving. So there's this distance, there's this apparent separation that happens where the body that you believe to be now appears in front of you, and it appears in you, sort of say. That you are much greater than the body. You don't feel like you're trapped in the body. You feel like actually the body is in you. This vast space that's watching. This vast space that's still and aware. It's aware of this object that's moving and changing in it. So with the practice of Hatha yoga, you can objectify the body. And realize that you are not the body. It becomes obvious. Now, what does this mean? Well, it's the body that was born and the body will die. And realizing that you are not the body is your liberation from birth and death. Hopefully this helps. I'll see you in the next one.